Hi Renata, hi Tena, how are you? Hey, I didn't have the music today because I just want to see if you hear me okay. Last time somebody told me, actually a few people, hi Lati, that it's kind of like too quiet, so I kind of like increased this. Everybody hear me okay? Okay, good. I'm kind of debating which deck to take. I thought I would do vice versa, but also I'm considering Morgan Greer. So I don't know, guys, which deck will you prefer in between the two? Just let you decide. Good morning. Hopefully everybody's having a coffee. I am really enjoying my second cup. Vice versa. Good morning, Brenda. Hi, everybody. Where are you guys from? What sign are you? Hi, Dean. How are you? Switch to tea. My doctor told me I should switch to tea because it raises my blood pressure. This is a decaf, actually. LA Leo. Somebody's up early. Oh, thank you, Lati. Pisces, Portland, look at that. We have the early riser. We have Libra. Hi, Sally. Good morning. have a good day. Enjoy a day with your mom. Nice for checking in. So I have exactly the same amount of vice versa and Morgan Greer over here. So we have rain coming. I don't know. It kind of looks overcast today. It's colder than yesterday, that's for sure. Manchester, wow, good afternoon. Manchester, England. Aquarius, making your first coffee. Kamloops, BC. Vice versa, Greer. Look at this, look, it's always the same. How about I use both? And I use one for the main message and another one for the secondary message. So I'm going to use these for clarifiers. Fresno, California. We have Aquarians. I am really great, like good. You get my weather today's, well, Michigan and Toronto are on the same, I believe, tangent. No, you're just like south of us, so I think it's about the same thing. But I guess you probably pay attention to the weather more than I do. You live in the future. So guys, let me just start telling you that the school second round is starting next week. So there's like still room in this group. And after that, I'm not going to start a new group for at least probably until August, if not even September. And the reason for that is that the summer in Toronto is really short, and I want to kind of like really spend some time because I kind of like have been more hands-on with students than I expected, but that's because like everybody's like so awesome. Thanks, Lati. And everybody's like advancing so well. So the first group is like almost getting halfway, and now the second group is starting. So let's see, it is still Taurus birthday, but we do have a new moon in Taurus in a few days, which I might have another live about that. But for now, hi Renata, good. I think fall is going to be better. Most people just like want to go out, and that's why I wanted to have few trials before, you know, I have my act together. Hi Lee, hi Lars, oh my gosh, water, Missouri. You'll learn a lot, trust me on that. Thanks, Lati, I really appreciate that. And my little students are like really kind of like really pushing me forward, and I kind of like really like that. So I'm not going to do water first because we are in Taurus season and we are going through Taurus transition. So hence, if you're stamping this, this is going to be for everybody because this is kind of like the new moon in Taurus. So let's start with earth signs, okay? Earth. Let's see, Earth from the 12th to the 19th. Wow, Australia. Isn't this like a middle of the night for you guys over there? I'm kind of like always kind of like wondering how to do this like timing because I want to kind of like include everybody, and this is the only one I can think of because if I go earlier, then these people on the West Coast are going to still be sleeping. So, oh, that's okay, my turquoise. Thank you, everybody who timestamps. This kind of like is a big help. So let's see. It's 11 in Toronto as well, but it's 8 in basically BC and California. Oh my gosh, sunflower, you're going to really get some like serious exercise. So let me focus. Earth, Earth, Earth for this week. Earth for this week. Earth for this week. Earth, Earth, Earth from the 12th to 19. Earth from the 12th to the 19. So I'm going to do this and this. They're not reversals in vice versa because it has two sides and the second side is not necessarily a reversal. So what we have, oops, can you even see this? Just do this here. We have King of Swords. We have Nine of Wands. We have Queen of Cups. We have Knight of Wands. Lots of people, Earth. Well, that doesn't really surprise me. And then we have the Emperor reversed. It doesn't surprise me because you're still going through transition of your own birthday. And I can see that some of you are getting overly brave. Look at this, like looking at the basically storm at a distance. And he is holding the sword over here. So what can go wrong? Thunder and a metal, right? So this guy is like fearless, right? This actually can talk about some kind of turbulence. It can talk about new ideas, new breakthroughs, new kind of like ways of seeing through things, right? Maybe there was something with Nine of Wands that just like didn't grow, or something just like felt being a battle, because if you just look at the other side, he is actually looking at something that is kind of reaching his goal. So you're just thinking to yourself that maybe this is some kind of mirage, maybe you just want to go one step further. So I can definitely, this one wants to talk and wants to flip. Are you guys the Earth, and maybe even all of us, kind of like repositioning ourselves to what we want, and even more so how we want to go about this? Because I really like his wand. It's almost like a weapon over here. He's putting his helmet down and he's getting like this lady that is basically calling him over here. So, and I think this is this lady. I wonder if you guys are going to let your guards down, or kind of like go in a completely new direction. Like there is like absolutely need for comfort. There is like need for kind of like soft place to fall. It's kind of like weird because at the same time there is like still a very guarded attitude. For you, Earth, you have unbelievable amount of this really high vibration kind of things. I would say that maybe you see your birthday as a bookmark, and the bookmark is sort of, at this point, you know, this year I'm going to kind of like process differently, because I see here the Emperor being reversed. This is always telling me about kind of like wanting, like you see, this is like, that's basically the sign of life. There's like kind of like will to kind of like create this new universe, but here there is this need for putting the fire under your basically butt, right? I would say there is like something new that is just about to start and about to loom, and something very, very emotional. I think maybe Earth has been stuck in certain kind of like envelope of, I have to do things this way, and some new elements, somebody is going to enter your life who is going to show you kind of different path and different way. And you might still want to kind of like adhere to everything that you knew and everything that you want. But I think by the end of the week, which kind of makes sense because then we are literally exiting and going in Gemini, things are going to change. So let's go sign by sign over here. Okay. So first of all, happy birthday, Taurus. Where is my Pleiadian Tarot? She's not here. Oh boy, am I coming down with some kind of cold? I'm getting kind of like that feeling. Hopefully it's not coming. Gemini is coming very soon. Yes, it is. So let me see over here. So yes, I have to kind of give you the is your ex coming back next week? And then right week after that, it starts with the forecast for the Gemini season. So Taurus. Yeah, there's Pleiadian. Taurus. Oh my gosh, Taurus, you're getting the star. I'm my favorite. See anything else for Taurus? Look at this. It almost looks like you're closing the door on someone and something, or the way of doing it. Queen of Rods, when she reverses, you have lots of people. It's going to be so many activities. This actually can indicate a couple, some kind of couple that has been in your life, and almost like they were transient. And this also can mean that somebody still had a grip on you from the past, and that you're releasing this and kind of like moving in a new phase. The star is a really good card because it indicates growth. It indicates ability to again be hopeful. And sometimes in life, and the older we go, like this is more kind of like prevalent, that we kind of like get stuck. So this is talking about you Taurus are getting unstuck. You Taurus are moving away from superficiality, because Queen of Rods reverse can actually mean, oh, look at my dress, or look at my ring, kind of that kind of attitude. And it could be manipulating attitude. You kind of like are shedding away people like that being in your life, as well as any attitudes inside of you that you kind of like see like that. Because I think you're realizing that you have been working very hard at something, and right, it is not a time to give up, because I feel with so many cards saying keep going, that maybe some of you felt, I'm never going to get there. But this is telling you, you are so close. You're just like right there. So let's see next. Next would be Virgo. Let's see Virgo. Kat, you mentioned doing a voice chat in here. I would like to talk with you ladies. Well, the YouTube, I said hopefully one day they are going to have it. They don't still have that ability. Hi, Anita. Oh, you love it, Taurus. Well, you know, this could actually mean for the cross watchers for Taurus that somebody's going to pay attention to people on for who they really are. Because the Taurus can sometimes get superficial. They kind of like these earthly goodies. But this is like telling me this is going to go deeper in that kind of situation. So let's go Virgo, 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 Virgo. What is there for Virgos this week? And look at this. You're having this emphasized Virgo. So that was your vibration coming out. Well, this guy is like more basically active in his defense of his attitude. So Virgo, you're going to be very active, but you're also going to sort of like maybe stand your ground or something. Maybe you're going to approach people, and this could actually relate to this kind of like cards that people are challenging you. You will feel, you know, that you need to defend whoever you are, where you are going. And I think that's going to be really important because the next line in the row is the Emperor saying, you know what, like, I mean, maybe I have been asleep. I have been not really, you know, sometimes when we don't keep working on something, we actually retrograde in that. So maybe you're going to realize I have to actually pay attention to something and keep going. But you're going to really have lots of naysayers and lots of people who may, I guess, challenge you in some way. And you are not going to be a pushover, Virgo. You're going to simply insist that, yes, whatever I represented is right, and this is for the reasons I feel it is, and this is where I'm going. And I think it's going to be really, really important for you to take this stand. Wow. Look, Taurus had Queen of Rods, and now you have King of Rods reversed. It's kind of interesting with these people. So definitely both Taurus and Virgos would have this influence of these people who will be, let's say, stubborn. And I think you guys are going to get this emotional hand. This Queen of Cups over here is kind of like bringing this, hey, here is the soft place to fall. It's kind of interesting with these two combinations. And let's see, Capricorn. 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 And Capricorn has 10 of Pentacles reversed. Okay, well, Capricorn, you really had a good run for quite a while. It almost looks like you were invincible. But there probably was a situation where you had to reach some kind of decisions, because I can see these cards really highly relating to these two. Now, the 10 of Pentacles reversed is talking about some possible trouble on a home front. And again, you still have this influence of kind of like guarding your own attitudes, guarding your own actions, being defensive, but maybe not so much being defensive as sort of like being assertive, because I do see people really storming down at earth signs this week. It's going to be really interesting. And the good approach out of it is, because I see Capricorn is going to really, really obsess about that. It's going to feel like, oh my gosh, what I do. Some situation is going to be appearing for Capricorns where you're going to feel like you're almost at some kind of impasse. You cannot do much, that your hands are tied, and kind of like try to figure out how to get there. And hence this kind of like understanding, I need this stability, I need this control in my life. And the truth is that you guys really have to go deep, emotionally deep, because everything that is coming at you comes from sort of like words and comes from actions of the other people. But the truth is, you kind of like really have to go deep inside of your heart and see what energizes you, what you would want. And that can kind of like create sometimes trouble, because not all people are going in a direction where we are going, and hence it's going to look like that there is going to be, as I said, some kind of impasse where you might kind of like see that you are not on the same page with someone. Oh, thanks Lati for your help. So that would be Earth for today. So who is next? Who is next? Who is next? Oh, guys, yeah, feel welcome joining the school, little Miss Hutch, Love and Sandy. Oh, that's so sweet. Nice to see you. Water, water, water. Look at this. Like I have somebody really talking about water. So let's do water. Water. Look at that. Like we have now. You guys learned. You know, like I mean that you have to kind of like vote. Voting is important. Water, 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 water. Let's see. Water, water. And guys, if you want to get a reading from me, and now it's just like the speed up promotion, so it's actually faster because I'm still not busy. As usually I start busy out of the summer. And here is like water is getting a messages, Knight of Pentacles. And this is like that, what they call a dark horse night. Something is revolving slowly. Maybe water is interested or trying to pay attention to finances and kind of like how to establish themselves better or how to save money. Okay, water, water, water. So of course, check it out, your rising sign, your sun sign, and your moon sign. And also if you're checking, if you're cross-watching, I suggest checking their Mars sign. And I think if you go down in the description, I hope I put the link to how to kind of like get your natal chart done. Okay, water, water, water. Oh, this is interesting. We have Two of Swords. We have the Star here. And we have Page of Pentacles. We had like a Knight of Pentacles there. And here we have this like Nine of Swords. Ooh, the Devil. And Three of Wands. Well, I can see that you're starting this week with some kind of like dilemma. Where shall I go, right? So she has some kind of burdens, right? And looks like he almost like has the barrier of kind of like maybe getting out of certain situation. But fret not, it's kind of like soon kind of like coming out. I always feel when this card shows up that we have a decision between two things that we really don't want to do, and hence there is this blindfold and, you know, kind of I just like want to make decision blindfoldly, I just don't care kind of a thing, right? But looks like you are really going to take yourself really deeper and further, because it's going to go from 2 to 9 all the way. So now being 11 together, this is really talking about healing. This is really talking about you really need to not only open the eyes. So you feel that even if you open the eyes, that nothing would change. And there is a situation, I think, water, that you are reaching that is kind of difficult, where you feel stuck. For one reason or the other, but trust me, the situation is done for a reason. There is like something that is supposed to foster your healing, your better understanding of the situation. Because also we have now the Devil and the Star. So now these are like two almost like seemingly opposing cards, if you really want to take them, because one talks about healing and talks about, you know, raising above kind of like the issues, kind of like resurrecting, getting a new hope, getting a new start in life. But this is a card for me of codependency. The Devil always talks about, you know, the choices are limited. The choices are kind of like you're saddled with the choices for some reason. Now, these two cards cannot work together. these two cards are signifying to me that there will be some of you who will choose to kind of like continue and heal, because I see this, and find healthy solutions. The others won't. The others are going to maybe feel stuck and continue to feel stuck in the situation. This also can actually talk about sexuality and kind of like overindulgence, kind of like abuse of numerous things, such as like alcohol, drugs, but it could be also sex and work, right? So absolutely, I see that some of you will kind of try to find solution intellectually in kind of like, where am I going and what shall I be going, and kind of like getting this renewed hope. The other ones are going to just go down and dirty, and this card also indicates that you will continue spinning in the same circles if you kind of like go for this kind of door. So that's going to be really, really interesting. Yeah, it could be a chocolate as well. And then finally, kind of like, again, there are two different solutions. One is going to be, okay, you know, turning back on the happiness. It's kind of like same old, maybe feeling something is too hard to reach. Maybe, you know, well, I am good where I am, not really going in this motion forward. But the other one is going to be really at almost at the brink of, look, he's leaving his lush forest and he has to kind of cross this desert. So this is the reason why it's not easy to kind of go in a different direction, because it's something completely new. This is absolutely talking, as you can see, he has this like yin and yang, like fireball over here, and like this kind of like staff here as that fire that kind of like we see it over here. So needless to say, he has to keep going. And also, like, you have the Page of Wands. So this can be this fire. Actually, there is like still possibility for these people to kind of go in this direction and kind of like split from this kind of like whole circumstance that kind of like keep going on. I definitely see that water is going in a new direction of some kind. And I actually want to see this Devil card because it's major. Let's see this Devil. You see, Judge and Merriment. So it could be that you guys will going through some kind of difficulties. It could be reassessing some legalities. Again, we have the scales over here in balance. Maybe simply it's just like a time to pay off karmic debt, you know, and maybe you're spending too much time just on happy times without paying attention to also things that kind of like maybe are happening in the background, and maybe you're not paying attention to these things in the background because you're feeling you feel that there's like nothing you can do. But this is showing me that actually there are solutions, and that you will be actively able to think through it, and being stuck is not necessarily the best solution to go into. Alrighty, who is then here first? It would be, yes guys, please, that kind of like would be probably good for you to check for to book your reading with me, because I definitely see two distinct possibilities, and I think this is like what this signifies. Which way do I go? So first one is Cancer. Let's check Cancer. Right, Dean? You're Cancer. Let's see. Any other Cancers? Ooh. Cancer is going to do very well. Look at this. Like here it was like the stage, thinking, where do I go? How do I go? Am I ready to cross this proverbial desert? Do I really want to go in your direction? And the answer is yes. You guys will really, really go for it. You're going to feel like it is time for me to go to the next phase, to the next stage. Something is going to feel new and fresh for you Cancers. That's for sure. Let me see one more card for you. Yes, absolutely. You know what, Cancers? This is a really good week for meeting new people, because or if you're with somebody going on the next level. When Temperance appears, it's always talking about something is reaching a point of being the right time in the right place. So this is it, like, you know, he kind of like positioning himself. He kind of like figure out when is the best time to start a project, when is the best time to kind of like, you know, approach somebody or propose to somebody or kind of like start dating again. So this is the best time, because the Temperance is always saying the right time and the right place in the right situation. So I would be very active if I were you, because you guys are getting into this fire. Absolutely, Cancers are going to have very active approach. Maybe it's going to be maybe even kind of like sport events, that kind of things would be like really well forecasted over here. Also, as far as astrology, you have Aquarians and you have Capricorns over here, and so that's kind of the energy that will be coming to you, right? So let me see who is next. Scorpio. This is more Sagittarius, Temperance, but yes, it definitely can give you this definitely can give you that kind of like feeling of fire. Scorpio. Latte, did I not give a native chart over there? Let me just check. What did I do this? Yeah, I did. If you go in my links, it is over there. I'm going to paste it as well in the conversation. Scorpio, I can see you're getting guarded over something. So there is going to be a good time for you, Scorpios. They're going to be friends. It's going to be nice and relaxing time. So what would happen that you're going to start to feel guarded? There is going to be some kind of switch that you're going to climb up a little bit. There is like this feeling of kind of like closing in maybe on friendship, maybe closing in on something that you really wanted to go. Maybe you are the ones that is sending kind of like these kind of like strong messages about some kind of like situation that maybe, you know, is right now reassessed, because this is definitely talking about adding up to 7 to Chariot, that kind of like there is going to be new push forward. So the situation is going to get resolved, but it's going to get resolved with hesitation, with kind of like being guarded in how you approach it and how forward do you really go. Let me just have a sip. Hopefully you're sipping. Oh, look at that. You guys are not even seeing all those cards here. Oh. Ah, my gosh, coffee. I love coffee. I think that's why I have headache, because I started drinking decaf, as my doctor told me. So I'm probably going through caffeine withdrawal. And the next one is Pisces. 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 Ooh, Pisces is getting Page of Swords. Pisces is such a nice sign until you touch them and mess with them, and then they can go in all direction. And I think that's exactly what will be happening this particular week. Somebody will be messing with you. Like, you see this, like, kind of like not acting. You were not acting because you didn't feel that the approach was there, that you're dealing with somebody with a prickly personality. This actually can also indicate some kind of like stalking kind of like attitude, or that somebody is just like pushing you too far and not willing to accept the boundaries. This is also talking about possibility about some kind of like past issues that you want to cut off, because the Judgment card is like a beautiful card. It's a card of release. You might also be dealing with Scorpio as well. There is like this, okay, you know what, let's put all on the table, let's discuss this. And discussion might not be super, let's say, gentle. It's going to be brash, it's going to be crass, but it's going to be over. You guys are moving to this next stage. Like, you have both Judgment and you have Star, same as Cancer over here. So Pisces and Cancers are going to have kind of like week with kind of like a bigger chunks of work on this planet done, but Scorpio is going to feel a little bit more guarded. And again, guys, you know, check me out for your private reading that kind of can give you a little bit more, and especially with this special deal that I have. So these are water signs. So who is next? Who is next? Let me check up with you. Temperance rising. Oh, Temperance rising is here. Hi there, how are you? Nice to see you guys. Fire, fire. I have fire. I have fire. Sorry, fire. We see action. Action. That's kind of like what is important. Fire. What sign are you, Temperance rising? You're Aquarians, are you? Are you not Aquarian? For some reason? Or Sagittarius? Fire, fire, fire. Oh, Scorpio, Sun and Moon, and that's why Temperance rising. Scorpio, Sun and Moon. Fire. So how many people here have their sun sign, their ascendant, or their moon in fire? Or how many people are inquiring about somebody who has one of those? Fire. Hi, Bridget. Here is like somebody who is going to be joining the school soon. So looking forward to it. I'm preparing this whole weekend for my new group. Okay, fire. So fire, you're getting this 5 of Wands coming out. So look at the two of them. It's kind of interesting here. It's kind of like putting it in a perspective. Dudes, are you sure you really want to argue when the volcano is sipping? But here, they're like sort of like saying, okay, let's see who is stronger. I actually like this card because in life, we have to kind of figure it out. The balance between how far we go in somebody's life and when do we stop, as well as how much we let somebody in our life in before we stop them. So there is like this continuous kind of like equilibrium that needs to be reached. So fire, fire, fire. Navdeep, where are you? Fire. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Fire. Look at, you have a Leo is coming here strongly. So we have a Leo, the strength. We have Ace of Wands, and we have Judgment. And here we have wow, Fool. Oh my gosh, the fire is going to be intrigued. Oh my gosh, look at this. We have Sagittarius. Just let go, like, let me just tell you, like, look at 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 5 major arcana. Fire, honestly, and the ace. And aces, to me, I almost consider them majors because they're the gateways. Holy smoke, where do I even start? So we have a Leo, we have Sagittarius coming through it. We also have air coming through it and water in this kind of like fire. So, okay, both Leo and Sagittarius, because I'm reading for fire, probably these are your energies coming through, right? Are turning back to something, right? There is like this need for fighting maybe inner forces, I would say, because look at this, even in Sagittarians we have a lion over here. So this is definitely connecting, because you see the front part of this would be kind of like the creative part, but here this is talking about this biblical, you know, kind of like finding this kind of like peace, very two kind of different things looking at each other. And what is this called? always, where the hangman is like in this card. Like now the person is looking at it, and I think these two signs can actually be connecting with either connecting or not connecting. So if you're Leo and you have a Sag, or vice versa, these cards are connecting, because there is like going to be some kind of like new, oh my gosh, and there is like also another one here, which also has two meanings, because it's showing a magician on this side, but this is really the Wheel of Fortune and the Empress. Oh boy, this is basically a reading in itself. But I'm going to just scratch the surface. You guys feel free to kind of like bug me. In short, you will be turning back to something that it was, because you have the Judgment card. Like, it looks like something is coming to the fore. Some deeds, something that has been done, some choices that have been done in the past are not longer questioned, but rather released and going in a new direction. Look at this, like Fool having this like new vision, like, you know, new wishes, new shooting star. Look at this like new thing. Also, it could mean, whenever I see the Ace of Wands, something new starting, some new beginning. It could be if you guys are waiting to reunite with someone or want to reunite with someone, it could happen. It could happen, but only if you resolve the issues, because these issues have to be released, and they can be resolved internally. They can be resolved, like as you said, my turquoise, karmically. You guys, with having this many major arcanas, you're like literally positioned, destiny positioned you right now almost like in a closed environment where things need to be dealt with. It's going to be an extremely important week, and I think especially after the 15th, when you have a new moon in Taurus, because Taurus is like, and you have seen earth signs, so fire, please go and check earth sign that were like the very first one. Especially Taurus, because it is talking about this like new switch and a new moon. So now the Gemini card, this is the air card, generally Aquarius over here. It's telling me that your energy is going higher, and we can see it here. You guys maybe have been burdened with something, and I think this is what is coming to me. Burdened with something and being stuck in a decision-making process. And I think you're kind of releasing this. And the problem of releasing was that you didn't feel you can do it on your own for some reason. You didn't feel ready, or you didn't feel that you can you maybe you were holding on a partner. Let me be like concrete on this one. You were holding on a partner thinking, well, you know what, it is what it is, I'm stuck with you, or, you know, I cannot do better. But now you're realizing that, you know, that was like some kind of like erroneous thinking, where you're realizing that there are like many choices in life, that we make choices every single day. And remember, this card that kind of jumped out was like kind of positioning your boundaries with how you go. The only cards that, well, these two cards kind of like worry me, and I'm going to clarify them, and that's why I'm not crazy about this deck, because they don't necessarily mean, in the regular decks this would mean, well, there is a lack of commitment, and, you know, there is like not the right time for something. But in this deck I don't see that. I see it in this deck that sort of like you kind of lay down your swords, kind of a think and release, kind of like almost like the past is gone, because the past can really burden us. And here I also see kind of like taking basically the devil by its horns, if you wish, and not really feeling any fear. So let me just clarify that. Let me clarify that. You know, Dean, I do appreciate this kind of thing, but I said that I don't want to date right now, and this is really not the place for for this. It kind of makes me feel very uncomfortable. So I would really appreciate if kind of like this stops. So what do we have here is we have desire, we have letter, and we have hope. As I said, this is like really not talking about losing ability to commit. This is like more or less, okay, I am going in this new direction. And I think this is really probably a message for Leo. It is kind of going in kind of new communication, in kind of like new things. So Leo, I'm strongly feeling this is kind of like your kind of like a thing. And this also jumped out, reverse gift and the priest, ecclesiastic. So I'm wondering if some of you, fire, will try to renew your vows, or maybe you're wondering about your marriage, maybe you're wondering about your relationship, maybe you're wondering if you'll get married, because I think this is why the card is on the other side, because like there is like this positioning, how do I go about that, right? And let me see over here the this card, and now we have a message as well. So it looks like that so Sagittarians are going to either receive or give the message, and we have, okay, so Sagittarians might be fessing up something, might be, I actually do see either receiving or giving some kind of an apology, because the thief here is always talking about something being encroached upon, something, you know, betrayed. So this is telling me that somebody's probably trying to reach some kind of closure. We will see if that's Sagittarians, but I kind of like get this kind of feeling, but of course it's applying to the entire kind of fire portion. So let's go in the details and see where it goes. Hey, Pleiadian Tarot, did you exactly, did you start to feel us that we were talking about you? Let me just have a sip of coffee. The small deck is, I don't even know what is the name for it. I think it's called Gypsy deck. It's a very bad quality, but I love this deck. I think it's called Gypsy, but it's really more or less like LENORMAND. It's a combination of it, and I got it on eBay if you're interested in that. So Aries, let's see, Aries. Good morning, double moon. Aries, how in the world are you stuck with all these cards? So you are the ones who is actually getting these messages here. So Aries, you're feeling that you're trying to resolve some kind of situation, and that maybe the situation is still not reaching the possibility of having a basically happy or successful solution. Maybe you still feel that you are exposed to pain or to suffering. There is like certainly a level of some kind of constraint over there. Yeah, let me see. You feel like you're running out of option, but like this is completely wrong feeling. And I think this is what's going to switch by releasing this and saying, look, you know, this is all I can do. I'm just a human. This is all I can do in this situation. And it looks like that even though you'll feel constrained, you'll understand. I think you're probably going to be constrained now, but you will start getting understanding what you need to release, because these two cards are giving me feeling that you're sort of like cornered in a situation, right? Cornered into, you are there, you kind of like want to move forward, you want to kind of like go in a new direction, but for some reason you're stuck, which could mean that there are other elements that are taking place. Maybe it's going to be some kind of message. Maybe you really want a person who doesn't want you, and this is kind of like reflecting with kind of like feeling that there's nothing you can do that can actually make any kind of decision. Yeah, something that is kind of like, as Natalie said, out of your control, this entire situation. you're kind of maybe waiting for somebody then else because you're feeling stuck to make a decision, to make a choice. And maybe this kind of like would for you mean this is still not the right time. It's time to kind of like release something before moving forward. So let's see who is next. A Leo. Leo. Which way it was? I think this way. 5 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups reversed. Because this kind of came strongly for Leo, and I can see both coming over here. First of all, 5 of Pentacles talks about feeling not belonging somewhere, like also with 9 of Cups, not really feeling emotionally fulfilled. And I would say, especially the single Leos or somebody who broke up, you feel that something has been lost, and hence you probably are still kind of having a level of hope for somebody, or that somebody's going to contact you. But this tells me, I don't know if Leos you're divorcing, or there is like some kind of like a situation that somebody violated moral standards, and kind of like you couldn't kind of like continue it, and you had to kind of like call it. Because this is really talking about, look at this, 2 of them against the world, and somebody's like really wounded, and somebody's like really kind of like feeling for this person. But in the next scene we are seeing person, I'm on my own, and kind of like completely enjoying it, where maybe the other person is going to feel, okay, so you know, you're happy on your own. Why is that? So it looks like for you, and I guess that would be your trajectory, you might be making a choice of, it's kind of like going to be a difficult choice for you, and that's why this card is showing. Maybe there is something that you really want, but you know it's not reachable, it's not able to fulfill. But again, baseline for all of your fire signs is like to understand that this is like what's brewing in the background and what is coming your way. So it could be also here, this is kind of messages of some kind of betrayal, or discussion about some kind of betrayal, or a discussion that, look, you know what, I'd rather be you know, happy on my own than being unhappy in being coupled with you. Maybe there are like just too many things that just cannot be fixed anymore for you Leos. And Sagittarians. Oh my gosh, look at Sagittarians. You're getting the Lovers, which is quite the opposite of your sign, right? This will be Gemini. Hi, Pleiadian Tarot. You're such a sweetheart for my coffee. But you're also having the World. So this is actually a very strong message for Aquarians. I don't know why Aquarian came through. If any Sagittarius is dealing with some kind of Aquarian, that kind of is going to play. This is really talking about, look at this. We have Aquarians, we have Scorpios, we have Taurus, Leos, and we also have Gemini. Something hasn't finished. You Sagittarians in particular are very stuck over something. You and this card probably is really pushing you here. Something that you think has been finished hasn't been finished, hasn't moved into the next phase. And that's where I felt here it's going to be some kind of fessing up, or it's going to be some kind of communication with someone. I think it's going to take place. There is like something that it hasn't been finished for you guys, something that is really important to you, because the World card, because look at this, here's like 20 and here's like 21. This one is like not turning to go in the next phase. I think you're still in love with someone, Sagittarians, that has to do something with the past, possibly with one of those 4 signs. And the closure needs to be reached, because this is not a good place to be. When the World reverses, you're literally not able to move on. And it's almost like you need somebody's permission before you move forward, because you will be really feeling pushed into kind of making this decision to move forward, but you still can't. I think you really, really feel strongly for one person over here. If you're single, this would mean that there is like still some kind of work to be done for you to really go in a productive relationship. And it's suggesting that if you enter a new relationship, that you still may meet somebody from the past. It's going to be a completely possibly new person, but with that same issues that you had. So like, I mean, just new body, but you know, an old person and old issues. So it's kind of telling you, look, you have this opportunity right now to call it on and kind of like stop it, and that can actually happen in this period of time. So that was fire. I will really be watching fire this week, and everybody I'm reading for. So guys, all of you fire, I definitely suggest this would be a really good time for you to get a reading, because you're going through something really karmic. You're going through something that really can change your life in a kind of like really major way. And this week the new moon in Taurus will be very, very important, very important. And lastly, we have the air. Sugar always comes last, as the Germans say, right? Air. But karma is good. Karma lets you kind of like resolve things, and then you kind of like approach life with a new, fresh kind of like set of eyes. Let's go. Air. How many air people are here? Let's see. Air. Air. Belly jar. Yeah, I know. Sometimes it feels that we cannot resolve these communications with soulmates, and that's done for a reason. This is saying it's not just this person, it is like something else that is growing beyond this, behind us, that you kind of like really need to kind of look into that, right? So Aquarian, Libra, Gemini. Oh my gosh, I have them all. Okay, let's see. Air. We are welcome, Jesse. Air. Libra moon. Okay. Air, 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 for this period from the 12th to the 19th. Oh my gosh, getting two cards jumping out. So we have, oh boy, 10 of Cups and the moon reversed. And this is really not the moon, I would say. I would say this is the eclipse of the sun, to be really honest with you. And you see, in this card, she's going back to the star. She is getting re-energized. Like the towers are now shallow. Something, it's moving away from troubles. Oh my gosh, this is really, really good. 10 of Cups is talking about this emotional fulfillment. And I'm leaving this on because air really didn't have it good for such a long time. And that's because we are going through the year number 11, and number 11 it literally kind of heals you, but it's not healing us on our terms. It's healing us to what is the best for us. So guys, that's why my course is actually really good, because you also get Reiki. You also kind of like learn how to heal yourself. So air. We have 4 of Pentacles. So there is like still some kind of level of being guarded. There is like still some kind of level of inactivity. It's kind of interesting because obviously with this wand over here, this guy's not going to stay inactive for very long in this particular deck. This means kind of like differently, and this is going to be action very, very soon. So air. Oh my gosh, I don't even need to cut it. Everything is coming out here. Air. Is somebody here ready to be proposed? Air. And this one wants to come out. You know what? Similar situation over here. Not as strong as with fire. And that's kind of like our two kind of like top elements, two kind of very masculine elements, fire and air, that I see with these major arcanas. And it's kind of really interesting what's happening here for air, because look at this. We actually have no air in the reading. Well, sort of, like she is going to star card, and star card representing Aquarians, representing that 11 that is like really, really talking to me. Actually, let me add this. 14, 19, to be 1, 2, and 14. Wow. You know what? This is adding to 16, and 16 is the Tower. And we see the towers over here. And I think this is telling me that the turbulent times are over. We are kind of like finding our solutions. We are finding what works for us, what doesn't work for us. And we are kind of getting out of dark. And I can see it here as well. It is definitely maybe that... And this is kind of interesting. I think this is Hierophant. It's talking about getting proposed. It is talking of definitely, I think, certain things will be happening. Maybe somebody is going to give us some solutions, some kind of closures, because this is after all the Moon card. But she's going toward the thing, and Moon card is always talking about, oh, not good, something unknown. And look, another one that here on the top of this is Two of Cups as well. We have Sagittarians, we have Taurus over here. But this, honestly, to tell you, this is coming to me more like that we will get acknowledgement or something, you know, that somebody might come back to our life, or we might go back into somebody else's life. It is really clear, and it's going to be kind of interesting. It's going to be kind of very guarded attitude toward it. How do I go about this? But then it looks like the spark will be there, and I really feel this is somebody from the past. And somebody, weirdly enough, it could be somebody with whom you kind of went for a few ringers in the past. These all cards are really good. Like it's being reborn. It's kind of like going in a new direction. Like it's the right time, it's the right place. Maybe somebody was married in the past and emotional fulfillment couldn't happen, and hence it just like ran in complete dark and it stopped. And now it's like restarting again. Thank you, Dean. So let's see over here. Which one is the first one? Gemini. Hell to the no marriage. I don't know like if this is a marriage, but this is like necessarily, it could mean definitely marriage. This is the marriage card. But this also talks about agreeing to certain kind of moral principles. When you date somebody, like you kind of understand, well, thou shalt not cheat, thou shalt call me when you say you call me. Kind of like that two partners are both on the same page, that they're both kind of like understanding these kind of principles, right? And this is definitely almost like a contra to basically to the air signs that kind of like generally don't like such a big structure, and hence here they're kind of like understanding, because we have, as I said, everything but the air, other than kind of like maybe coming back to that feeling of air from all the different elements, because we have strong earth over here, and we have very strong water, and then we have really important fire, almost like this angelic fire saying, you know, finally things are going to start work together. So let me see. This is kind of interesting. I'm actually excited. Did something flicked? No. So which one is first? Gemini. Holy smoke. Look at Gemini. You got the same card but reversed. You're getting like entire reading here. You're getting the Fool, which is also air. You're getting 5 of Pentacles, King of Cups, and 2 of Swords. All right, Gemini, you and Libras from these air signs, you have the duality in you, right? You have 2 faces. Libra has 2 scales. So you're going between, well, what makes me happy and what makes me unhappy. You have to figure out both, not just like striving toward happy, because I think maybe you failed in the past to figure out what makes you unhappy, and hence you maybe did go toward happiness, but you still kind of like attracted lots of unhappiness. And at this stage, after you do that, it looks like there is a new start. There is the Fool, which is always talking about fresh, new beginning, contemplation, in kind of going in your direction, finally getting out of that kind of cold and situation. It could have been that you had somebody who made lots of promises to you and kind of left you in a state of flux, and maybe overpromised, underdelivered, or just like simply vanished. You are kind of still deliberating over the situation over here, and you're still getting stuck, but like the Fool card is definitely saying moving forward. And looking in the connection with the other cards, this is really telling me that you really kind of like, because you're going from 4 to 5, you're letting your guard down. You are kind of understanding certain things, and I think the key over here is understanding things that you don't like, that things that you will not allow. So these kind of moral principles, because like somebody maybe wants to come in your life on their own terms, and I think you're going to say, well, you know what, no way, Jose, kind of a thing. I kind of like want things done differently, and you will insist on it, and it's going to be fruitful, because there is like definitely 2 of Cups over here also. So let me check who's next. Libra. Libra, under deliver or promise. It's like Gemini. Okay. Or it can go vice versa. It can kind of like, I always kind of like see the energy in between. So let me see. Libra. 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 Libra has Page of Pentacles reversed. Why? Why is this here coming out for Libra? And no, this is a little bit too much. Libra. And the Page of Cups. Why? Libra, you also are deliberating. You also are wondering, you kind of like are looking in situations in your life that kind of like made you feel not up to a task, not up to kind of the life circumstances, because pages are very immature energy, and I don't think you actually want somebody back in your life. I really think you kind of like are closing the door, and for you this new direction is going to be new direction with yourself, with understanding yourself better, with understanding the flow of life better, understanding that, you know, maybe you need somebody's better attention, somebody's higher maturity. And you see the High Priestess is also relating to the Moon. But you still kind of like are puzzled with some information that you have, and you're still trying to get to the bottom of that. I would say you're a little bit stuck on why certain things happen, and maybe even feel rejected, or you are rejecting, and it actually can be multiple people over here involved. I actually do see a triangle over here. It's kind of interestingly today I didn't see many triangles, but here I do. That hence maybe these 2 towers could also talking about this conscious or subconscious. Maybe somebody looks good on a paper, but it's not that, you know, emotionally appealing, and somebody's like that nice soft place to fall, but you think this person can be a complete loser in life, and hence you just like cannot make a decision. But the truth is, looks like that neither is there for you. So, and yet I think you are maybe pressured, kind of it's time to get married, it's time to kind of like move forward, and it's never good, nobody's good enough for me. So I actually see that kind of like certain kind of trepidation and certain nervousness over here. So for you, Libra, it's going to be a lots of back and forth, just like with Gemini. So it's kind of interesting because the general energies are really, really positive, but the individual energies are, ooh, this is really good card. Horrible card, good card. So that's Aquarius. 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 You know what? Like, you guys will definitely, I suggest getting a reading, because like this is really big lesson, and I can see that air signs are getting stuck. It's almost like, you know, that apprentice episode. You give them a task and they're going in all directions. And task was very, very simple. Kind of figure out what you want, figure out who you are. Kind of like you cannot do that alone, and for things to happen has to be the right time and the right place. And then everybody, oh, I don't know, how about my past, how about this, well, how about this? And it's kind of like this kind of like excuses is like almost like the issue that has to be kind of resolved over here. So let me see what is here for Aquarians. This one and this one. Oh my god. Is it possible that something nice is going to happen to us Aquarians after all? You see, this card I absolutely hate. This card talks about betrayal, talks about somebody being sneaky, talks about people talking behind your back, people doing things behind your back, somebody getting away with things. But when this card reverses, this card talks about somebody finally understanding what they did to you. Somebody apologizing, somebody, you know, telling you, now I see it. I was blind, but I can see it now. Because sometimes people really do things because they really think that they were doing it in the best possible kind of like way. And they can't even absorb different ways of suggesting, and it could be really, these are love arrows, love messages, and stabilizing and feeling back on the throne. This is really interesting that is coming out for Aquarians, because the Emperor is also Aries, and Aquarians on the 15th in the new moon. I guess I should probably do live Tuesday evening, guys, so just be ready. Tuesday evening around 8ish Eastern Standard Time. Hi Barbie. Because Aquarian Mars the Mars is coming in Aquarius, so this is going to be really switch for Aquarians over here. I strongly feel it could be either meeting a new person, somebody who could be very important. Maybe it could be somebody in the sign of Aries, Taurus, Sagittarius, Pisces, or Aquarius. But it also could mean that somebody from the past is coming and simply kind of like giving clarity. This can mean both things, that somebody just gives you complete clarity and apology and sincerely kind of like allows you to maybe move forward with them. This also can mean internal process where we kind of like finally close that book and are able to fully open up and fully stabilize. So either way, this is going to work really well, because finally we Aquarians have, looks like, reached time where things are moving in a new and better direction. So my dear guys, did you give me thumbs up? I hope you did. It kind of like means a lot to me. And this should actually stay on, so please please stamp. Did I cover all of them? Yes, I did, right? Any questions that you have for me? Yes, please get the readings with me, and please, you know, the school still actually has room. And then I'm not going to do school for a while because it actually takes lots of my time. But probably is going to get better with a full class. Renata, hopefully I'll see you there. And thank you, SJH and Sunflower. Thank you, Lati, for helping. It's also in the description, guys, how to calculate your natal chart, how to basically also register for the school as well. Thank you, everybody. Hopefully everybody has a nice and productive day, and I really hope Dean, that you're not sending a storm, because I saw the weather for tomorrow. It's supposed to be 28-30 degrees. That's, I think, about 90 Fahrenheit. And so I think it will be really, really important for us to finally go into summer, because I'm really looking forward to kind of spending time outdoors. Thank you, everybody. please stay tuned for Tuesday. If this is really not cold that I feel like it's coming down, then I'm going to do live reading for a new moon. I think that's going to be very, very important. So love you everybody, guys. Hopefully you're going to have a wonderful day and finish your coffee in peace. And until probably Tuesday, have a good time. All the best.